It's Friday, and your view. We're excited to be here with you. Welcome to the show. I am Murayo Afolabi Brand. As always, I have the ladies of your view. Hey, Bissy. How you doing?
Amazing. You look fabulous, by the
Thank
way.
you. You look fabulous too.
Okay, it's a fabulous day. It's a fabulous day.
How you doing, Bissy?
I'm great. I have a few shout outs to make. So a fan of ours from Atlanta, Georgia, her name is Mrs. Adiola Akoshile.
Akosile.
There's an H.
Oh, Akoshile.
Don't confuse me.
Akoshile.
I try to. Akoshile. Today is her birthday.
Happy
birthday. May God grant you more fruitful years. We
yeah.
haven't met you, but anytime we go to Georgia,
Yeah.
I'm sure she will host us. So have a fabulous day today. And on Tuesday was my brother-in-law's birthday. That's my sister-in-law's husband. I like to call him my in-law because we're quite close.
Yeah.
And I forgot to make that shout out on Tuesday. So happy birthday, Ugo Awaji.
Happy birthday.
He's been,
Go ahead.
yeah, he's been marrying my sister-in-law very well. I'm very close with my in-laws. So my sister-in-law has all good news to share about the husband. He's been, I've met him, he's amazing. Happy birthday,
I'm
Ugo.
always forgetting to share. I mean, there are lots of people that send me messages. In fact, I always forget that I have Facebook people. I just discovered that I had, so I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, and I sat down with Facebook. I said, I have people here now. I started replying, thanking them, and them. Sometimes it all get mixed up, but thank you so much. Maybe you should send to BC and
Yes, I would.
they would definitely
deliver the
remember.
message.
I always forget. I do apologize. How are you doing, Mariam?
I'm doing fine. So we hear that churches and mosques, places of worship
Today.
is, yes.
Yeah.
And I just have this funny story to tell. So I'm not going to tell you who, because the person is very close to me and the person will know I'm talking about them. A guest came over to our house over the cellular period. I was just thinking how this COVID, they can lie. Do you know, I went to my office, my boss insisted all of us did, we should do COVID. But me, I did it, and they now told me I'm positive. How am I positive? So the person that invited her to the house, so they say you're positive. and you're in my house right now. Say yes, so and now she's even going to go to church for midweek service. She's like, please help me. So please, when you go to church, some people will be coming to give testimony that they are positive, but nothing is happening to them. Just be careful.
Just bundle that person. Get bags and bundle that person and take them straight to ID.
So let's just be careful.
Anywhere
because people
next
don't,
year.
I think a lot of people still do not get it. Some people will have it, but do not have the symptoms. But that doesn't mean that you can't.
I'm looking forward to
spread
house service because according to the papers, they want us to disinfect the churches. So when you have the first service, you disinfect before first service. Then before second service, do you disinfect again?
Yes.
Do you fumigate
I guess
after
you have
first
to do
service?
that.
And then people have to wait outside before they come into second service. And everybody must write their names so we know who came. So just in case anything happens, we know how to contract it.
So like for me now, I will be unable to go to church with a disinfectant. Already,
Right.
I'm very, yes, you know, I've got all
Right.
types of allergies,
Yeah,
and
right.
already I'm suffering. I've got rashes all over my face
Yeah.
because you go to different places, you have to use sanitizer. Some places
Yeah.
are disinfected, and it's affecting my health. So
I'm even more worried about the smaller churches. For the big churches, they can maintain the
Apparatus.
protocol. Yes, but those very small
I
churches
think
in
the
those
smaller
local
ones,
areas,
I think the smaller ones are
forget
even
it.
safer
they?
because if I'm going to go to church, I'm likely to go to a smaller church because
You'll
those
be
ones,
fewer
there are fewer people.
No, you don't
They're
even understand the small I'm talking about. The very local.
The one down my street, trust me, I'd rather go there.
easier.
Because my church, we have all these nice, if you see the chairs in my church, this is really, really imported that they're all like so together.
Yeah.
You cannot, you want to go and wee, you cannot but pass and touch somebody.
touch people,
You know, we're just tools and the AC, we're all breathing the same air.
Egbe.
Those smaller churches is fun, or it is to open all the
Open
windows.
the windows.
Windows are
Yeah.
open.
It's ventilated.
So those small churches for me is even safer. I'd rather go there, down the streets.
Without the
washing God.
sanitizers and the washing.
They will
of
wash,
hand
they will,
and-
of course they'll have sanitizer,
you
they'll have
think
hand
you're-
washing.
We hope so.
And they will spread out. They will have normal chairs that you can
Yeah,
spread. My
spread.
church, you cannot spread the chairs. They are permanently
but
glued
probably do
together.
social distance. Maybe they will have more church services than normal. So
We'll
you
see
have
how
like
it is.
five, so they have less
Let's see.
people per
I'm
service.
looking forward to how my church, I mean, because I know my church, they're very organized. So we'll see how they, I'll observe and see how.
We will be praying from home.
The doves will go first, tell us what happened, and then come back and tell
Poor
us.
We will be
dogs.
going from home, praying from home.
Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to start with the Nigerian Tribune today. Battle for Speaker roughens Edo governorship race. Gunmen kill pregnant woman, husband, 2 others in Bayelsa. Don't treat U.S. alert on Al-Qaeda with levity. Middle Belt Forum tells federal government. Bauchi governor appoints special assistant on unmarried women affairs. Police intercept 40-foot container filled with tramadol codeine in Lagos. I'm still on Nigerian Tribune. 22 feared killed in fresh southern Kaduna attack. COVID flags off 23 billion naira flood palliatives distribution for 10 million Nigerians. Okay, let's start with...
gunmen.
Okay. Yes, let's start with the gunmen.
Yes. So gunmen suspected to be sea pirates on Thursday stormed a village at Zikoro community in Yenagua, Bayelsa State, and shot a pregnant woman with her husband and 2 other people. So they were actually looking for a pastor of the church. According to an eyewitness, the story was that the pastor had already given out their hideouts to the police. And so they came for more like a reprisal attack, so to speak. And then by the time they didn't see the pastor, they shot the 2 people who were guarding the church. And then this pregnant woman and her husband heard noises and came out with their torchlight to check what was going on, and they were shot. So the police is on the case already. They said they've launched a manhunt to ensure that they get them.
Yeah, okay. So Bauchi State have appointed a new special assistant on unmarried women affairs. Quite a unique department, don't you think? And, well, I think it's best to read it. It says, in a resolve to monitor and regulate activities of single ladies in the state, Bauchi State Governor, Senator Bala Mohammed, has appointed Balaraba Ibrahim as his special assistant on unmarried women affairs. And the reason she has been appointed is based on her knowledge, her experience, her personal qualities of hard work, honesty, and absolute loyalty.
Honestly,
so I think exactly.
You know what? The same thing will happen when they had what's that commissioner for happiness in was it Imo State? You know what?
I don't want to just give it totally like, oh, this is
but
this
we
is
need
not.
to know.
Yes, so we need to know, because I had read some other articles, and he talked about how doing like there's been a survey on why people are getting divorced and things like that. So sometimes, because of the uniqueness of that community, there may
if
be
you
a
ask
need
somebody
for
else,
people
they say
like
you're
that.
just looking for they're just looking for opportunities to create more agencies and more budget.
Spend more money.
Just spend more money, yeah. But let's move on. I was going to take the story on the Al-Qaeda because the Middle Belt Forum is warning the president. You know, on Tuesday we took a story where the U.S. government was warning us that Al-Qaeda has spreading through the entire West African coast, and we need to ensure that our borders are properly secure, because they've taken down Mali and they're taking down many more states. So the Middle Belt is saying that don't take this warning with levity. You have to take it very, very seriously. But our Major General Enenche has replied that we already know that, and we're already doing everything to secure our borders, and Nigerians should go about their normal businesses, that they're aware of the plans of Al-Qaeda, and they're on top of it. Moving on now to The Nation. House of Assembly crisis throws Edo into turmoil. Federal government extends curfew for 4 weeks. Lagos issues strict code for worship centers. Government killed 21 in Kaduna villages. And COVID's 23 billion naira food aid for 10 million people, according to Dangote. Okay, which story are we taking?
Lagos
curfew?
Yes. Reopening. So Lagos State have laid out 46 safety protocols and guidelines to follow in this first phase of reopening of the worship centers. They also inaugurated 43-man monitoring and compliance committee for the partial reopening. So they are saying that worshippers, first of all, a few of the guidelines is the fact that they must wash their hands before services start. They shouldn't have more than 2 hours service. And like you mentioned, it to be fumigated before and after service, just a few more, yeah.
Okay. Well, on the flip side, the federal government, of course, is also extending the 4 weeks curfew, and is saying that they're maintaining the 10 p.m., 4 a.m. curfew. Hospitals, schools are still shut except for exit classes. Visitation of people to hospital are limited to very few number of family members. So on the one hand, places are opening and there's ease in the lockdown, and then on the other hand, the government is extending the extension. So
okay, moving on to Vanguard. Tension as 24 Edo members fight for control. COVID flags of 23 billion food palliatives for 1.7 million households. NDDC probe, PDP reps caucus accuses Baja for cover-up. Reps bid to pass National Water Resources Bill irks Southern Middle Belt leaders. COVID-19 FG extends lockdown, we talked about that. Revolution Now protesters irritants, says presidency. And 20 killed, houses burnt in fresh Southern Kaduna crisis. Okay, I was going to take this story on Revolution Now. Additional was on a TV station yesterday, and when he was being asked about the fact that about 91 youths were arrested, protesters across the country, he was saying that, what were they doing? That is like it's child's play. That you know, we've all read about revolutions. Revolution is when there's a total change of order. That what they did was just child's play and shouldn't be taken seriously. Of course, thank God there was somebody, there was a member of the Revolution Now there also, and he was saying it was quite disappointing that he could actually say such, that people are actually empowered by the Constitution to protest against bad governance, against issues of insecurity. So they were working well within their own constitutional rights, and the government shouldn't have arrested their colleagues.
I think they said over 91 people were arrested because of that. And it seemed the response of the presidency, of the spokesperson for the presidency, came across as being insensitive to the plight of Nigerians.
COVID quickly before we move on.
Please.
So private sector-led coalition against COVID-19 commenced...
Their uncle,
Dangote. Commenced giving of palliatives and relief systems to Nigerians. One of the reasons they started this is to help cushion the effects of the COVID-19 on vulnerable Nigerians. So far, they are going to be distributing 223 billion to 1.7 million households and over 10 million individuals across the 774 council areas in the FCT. So they also partnered with the government to achieve this. They've given to some states, or they are sharing to some states already, Adamawa, Yobe, Ekiti, Ogun, Delta, Edo, Kano, and some other states. And they've donated medical equipment to hospitals. They donated 300,000 test kits to the isolation centers.
That's fantastic. Let's move very quickly to the Punch. Revolution Now groups others fume as presidency called protest child's play. Naira Marley manager fined 100,000 naira for violating travel ban. We didn't impose travel ban on Nigeria, says UAE. Ogun village head accused of raping 15-year-old daughter hospitalized. Governors constitute panel to meet Buhari on worsening insecurity. And more drama in Edo as faction impeaches speaker, APC PDP lay claim to assembly. Okay, let's talk about this Ogun village head. That
so
raped 15-year-old.
Yes, this happened in Ogun State, Ogun village head, and so according to the story, he was accused of raping his daughter, a 15-year-old, who actually walked into the police station and reported herself, and this has been ongoing since she was 11. Now the mother died very early, and he didn't want the girl to have any relations with the mother's people, so just kept on. So this kept going on for about 4 years now, and then when the police arrested him, he denied it till the victim came to say this is exactly what happened, and one of his ex-wives now mentioned that it actually happened. So the man fainted.
And
thankfully, they took him to the hospital.
Fainting.
I'm telling you, and resuscitated him. So the case is ongoing.
Moving on. Daily Trust, 33 killed in fresh Southern Kaduna attacks. Gunmen killed 4 in Bayelsa. Katsina youth protest insecurity. 19 states in Nigeria unsafe. UK tells nationals we're aware of Al-Qaeda infiltration, says Defense Headquarters. Lots of stories, and the 9 die in Sokoto boat mishap. Lots of stories.
Yeah, so I think the major headline. So in Kaduna again, it's been reported that 33 people were killed. The gunmen came in at about 1 a.m. and it was raining, so a lot of the mayhem that was caused, many people couldn't hear them because of the rains. And you know what is sad about this, of course, is because almost every day we've sat down here, we've talked about an attack in these areas. This is in Zangon Kataf local government area, so many villages and communities. Although people who are from this community say that the police is under-reporting the numbers and the number of villages that have been attacked.
Okay, our final paper very quickly. Daily Star, we might not take all the stories. COVID-19 FG approves gradual resumption of international flights. Are we taking that story? Has anybody taken that?
No, we haven't.
Let's just take that and run.
Yes, so the federal government has also announced the retention of the phase 2 eased lockdown. And one of the things they are going to be seeing to is the fact that they are reopening international airports. The rail is going to be reopened as well. Level 12 will resume work, as well as our exit classes in secondary school, JS3 and SS3 that are being opened. So they say they've reported that we've had 536 COVID-19 patients in COVID-19 in 536 local governments out of the 774 we have. So it's more like a partial ease of the lockdown.
Okay, so that's all we can take on Front Page Review. When we come back, we first of all celebrate Your View's Hero of the Week. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So our hero of this week is a Nigerian striker, Victor Osamay. On Friday, Napoli officially announced the signing of Nigerian striker Victor Osamay from League One side Lille on a 5-year deal worth 81 million euros plus add-ons. He is the most expensive African football player ever, earning 4.5 million euros annually, the highest ever by a Nigerian footballer, as salary as the Italian giants. He was a Lagos hawker, now African costliest footballer. We celebrate today Victor Osamay. He deserves a round of applause. You know, when I read his story, this man was living in Olusosun. For those of us that are living in Lagos, we know Olusosun. Olusosun is the biggest dump site. In fact, it has 10,000 tons of dirt, and is always regarded as Africa's largest dump site. Yeah. You pass it every single time going through that expressway. When you're coming into Lagos, it's on your right-hand side. That's where he grew up, selling pure water. You know those boys that run to traffic trying to get you to pay? That's him. He used to do that most of his life. His mother died as a young boy. His father raised him, and he lost his job. And he was playing football. You know, and interestingly, I mean, we all read that story.
Yes, I did. You know, one of the things that really caught my attention, he talks about how, you know, just doing that racing in traffic, you know, to sell his pure water also helped in his skills for football. So I guess he must be really fast because of that. And sometimes I see that we find ourselves in some very uncomfortable situations. You grow up with parents who are poor, you know, socioeconomic background is quite poor. And all we see are just the negatives. And sometimes, you know, when they say every disappointment is a blessing, sometimes what you have been through, that hard times you've been through, becomes the foundation for what will make you. And so that's what really inspired me in his story, and I'm so proud of him.
There was also something he said that caught my attention, which is that I come from a place where many dreams have died. But there's something about me that I never give up. I keep going. And when I was reading that story, I realized that after he was picked by that very big club, he got in there, he played for a bit, and then the next season he had a lot of injuries, so he couldn't play, he couldn't deliver, and the managers that got him left him. They were not ready to buy him, and then he felt really terrible. But then somebody else picked him up, and he picked up again. He was able to give them about 20 goals out of 36 games. So it just tells me that even if you're doing your passion, it doesn't mean that you won't have down times. It doesn't mean that something won't, you know, things won't happen beyond your control that will make you feel, you start second guessing or doubting your abilities, but just keep going, because the end, there's always light.
He has made us proud because he was discovered by Emmanuel Amunike, who actually was that's a star, a Nigerian, one of our heroes also in the past. He discovered him, and he told him that if you can show yourself in 10 minutes, you don't need 1 hour to you need an hour to play. 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes he showed himself. Well done to Victor.
We're proud of you.
And as I said before, the reason why we celebrate Nigerians that are making us proud is just to remind those of us that are yet to make it, that listen, it can happen, that we are good people, we're a nation of good people. You hear the negatives louder, but we have, at Your View, want to begin to sing the praises of those that are positive. Let us sing them, let us remind people that we are good people.
So
people love and respect us, and we're hardworking. Abroad, we are hot cake.
Yes.
Once you're in Nigeria, all the negative we hear.
Forget it.
In Nigeria, we don't.
We're hot cake.
We're hot cake.
Yeah.
Finish.
We're hot puff puff.
Yeah, we are hot here, but here you treat us anyhow.
Yeah.
When you know, like you travel abroad now, you see how they be carrying you as if you're on the person. You know now. So same thing. We have to just always appreciate ourselves, and that's one of the reasons why we do this on Your View. Let's go on a very short break. When we come back, we'll go into our real topic for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So the outbreak of the epidemic, the pandemic, has brought the economy to a halt, serving as a forerunner to the largest economic shock the world has experienced. We have the special advisor to the governor on civil engagement, Princess Aderemi Adeboale, to discuss Sanwo-Olu's Listen as they provide support to struggling Lagosians during COVID-19 pandemic era. Good morning, madam. Good to have you on the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
When you say Sanwo-Olu Listen, what does that mean?
Well, Sanwo-Olu Listen, just like what it says, Mr. Governor is listening to Lagosians in so many ways. And with this pandemic, that has driven our economy, down the drain, especially for the struggling Lagosians that were struggling before this pandemic. And one of Mr. Governor's campaign promises was to make sure that all Lagosians are carried along and listened to, everything that he can do in his power to make sure that stabilize each and every one of us. He will do it. But we didn't even know pandemic is going to come, when he made these promises. Then comes COVID-19, and some of us that are managing our lives, some people are able to, take 5 naira and turn it into 10 naira on a daily basis, take 100 naira, turn it to 200 naira, or even have a business that you and your spouse are managing, like on a daily basis. Yeah. COVID-19 came. Now, we were home for about 3 months. Most people were not able to do their businesses. So Mr. Governor, in his wisdom, now thought to himself, even though this office we do give financial assistance, but we now felt we should let people actually tell us, what they are feeling, how this COVID-19 has affected them, what he can do in his own little way to assist the struggling Lagosians. Mind you, it's not just through this office that Mr. Governor is helping Lagosian. He's doing it through Ministry of Women Affairs with empowerment, through Office of Ministry of Wealth Creation, creating jobs. But this one, he wants to have a one-on-one relationship with Lagosians and listen to what they are going through and how it can be of assistance. So that is what Sanwo-Olu Listen is all about. Okay. Mr. Governor, listen to Lagosian one-on-one.
Okay. Princess Aderemi, please, what channel would an aggrieved person use to connect to this Sanwo-Olu Listens? Because just very recently, there was a post. There's been many social, small and medium enterprises that have been complaining about being constantly harassed during this period by either you have LASEPA, LIRS, hounding them for taxes and, raising funds. And they're saying this is a pandemic where we have suffered so many losses. We don't need this extra. So instead of making social media posts, what is the right channel to, express these grievances? To the governor.
Well, one of the ways people have been reaching out to us through this office, you can write to this office, you can write directly to Mr. Governor. People do write to him directly and tell him what you are going through. If somebody is harassing you, if the ministry is not helping you the way they are supposed to be helping you, But what we have been doing, if you write to Mr. Governor or if you write to this office, it will get to his table and he will treat every one of your complaints. But most people write to this office and it's, we look at it, we direct it to the right ministry. And also, let me also tell you this, we are coming up with an application, Citizen Gate is already in existence, but we are now refacing it, wherein Lagosian can talk to us through that application, Citizen Gate, directly. So we are using it as a feedback mechanism. So that will also broaden, areas of how negotiation can reach out to Mr. Governor or to all of our ministries. But like I said, you can write a letter directly to this office, and it's definitely get to Mr. Governor's table. Okay. Or you can write to him directly.
All right, so I wanted to ask if this initiative, how long has it been ongoing? If we've gotten beneficiaries of the initiative already, and what's like the criteria for those who get to benefit from Sanwo-Olu Listen? So is it just open to every Lagosian who has a complaint to make, or you have to go through certain things, fill out certain forms before you are being attended to?
No, if you look at the post, it says Sanwo-Olu Listen. For you to nominate any struggling Lagosian. So we are talking about financial difficulties. We are talking about if you have a land grabber that is threatening you, no matter what your complaint is, but mostly it's about financial issues. Because like I said, we are going to be giving financial assistance to some people. Let me give you an example. Some of the people that we have gotten their nomination, there is a lady, her name is Mrs. Mekbokwe. She started a business with 1,000 naira, making money. Most Lagosian knows her. And she already has a bakery right now. She actually launched a book last week. I was the chief launcher. And she now needs a generator to operate that business. So she wrote to us, and looking at a trend, knowing that she wants to, be part of the tax-paying Lagosian, so the little help that this administration can do for her, we are going to try to assist her to buy that generator. So you have some people that has complaints about land issues, that people have been harassing them. They are going to come on this, someone will listen, Mr. Governor will listen to them. Again, Mr. Governor is trying to do a one-on-one with Lagosian. Letting Lagosian know that he's a people-oriented governor, and also that this administration is a listening administration. All right, so it's not just about people that are struggling alone, but come and talk to Mr. Governor and let him listen to your complaint, and you will definitely find a way to resolve any issue that you might have.
I'm glad. We'll definitely we'll pay attention to that ministry. If Nima was here, she'll probably tell you to please pay attention to satellite town community. She's always lamenting. So maybe you can take that back to the governor, because that community seems to need quite a bit of attention. Sounds like Nima's area, satellite town. They've complained quite a bit of a lot of things, but she's not here. I can't speak on her behalf. But thank you very much, Ma, for sharing this with us. And is there any other thing you want us to do to support you in any way?
No, just for you to continue to tell Lagosians that this administration is here for them. They elected Mr. Governor and Mr. Deputy Governor, to be the person, that will be, for this administration, is one that listens to its citizens. But most importantly, that we, the government, also are reaching out to the governed, and it's a two-way street. Right. That they should also work with us to make sure that whatever it is that the government is putting in place, be it the roads, we're talking about drainages, people clogging our drainages, and then when you clog the drainages, the water, rain comes, it overflows on the road and spoils our road, and then we blame the government. No. Here at Civic Engagement, we talk about civic responsibility. In as much as we have a role to play as government, people also have a role to play to make sure that whatever it is that government puts in place, we take good care of it. It's our property. Right. It's your property. You're using the taxpayers' money to do all these things. Right. So don't see it as government's own. It's your own. All right. So whatever it is that we are doing, also work hand in hand with us to make sure we have a better Lagos.
Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been speaking with the Special Advisor to the Governor on Civic Engagement, Princess Aderemi Adebwale. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. We love beautiful stories. So over the weekend, students actually, Alabi Rukayat, and Alabi Kafayat, 2 young ladies, brought a story to limelight on their Twitter handle about the story of a woman, according to her, was abandoned by her husband because she and her 2 girls have blue eyes. So Punch picked up the story. Punch published it over the weekend. Everybody saw it. And we found them and watched this clip.
Bí mi mọ́ ojú yìí ni èmi náà dẹ̀ bí àwọn ọmọ mi mọ́ ni látọjọ́ tí wọ́n ti bí mi ojú yìí ò dààmú mi rí débi kán máa gbé mi pòrí hospital. Kankan tó nírú ojú yìí nínú fámílì wa nínú fámílì àwọn ìyá mi kò sẹ́ni tó ní nínú fámílì àwọn bàbá mi kò sẹ́ni tó ní mí nìkan lẹ́ni àkọ́kọ́ tí mo àkọ́kọ́ ní ojú yìí ìgbà tí mo dẹ̀ ń bí àwọn ọmọ tèmi náà àwọn náà ní mi dẹ̀ regret lórí ojú yìí pẹ̀lú àwọn ọmọ mi rí ìyá tó bí mi náà gbé mi kò rí hospital rí ipò ojú yìí ń dààmú mi kò dààmú mi rí títí tí mo fi di àgbà báyìí kò dẹ̀ dààmú àwọn ọmọ tí mo bí náà rí.
Nígbà tí wọ́n bí Risikat Azeez tí wọ́n rí pé ojú ẹ̀ rí bẹ́yẹn wọ́n ti kọ́kọ́ rò pé bóyá ojú ń dùn ni so wọ́n lọ sí general hospital wọ́n lọ yẹ ojú ẹ̀ wò ìgbà tán dẹ̀ yẹ ojú ẹ̀ wò ní general hospital wọ́n ní kò ń ṣe pé ojú ń dùn wípé àwọn èèbó ni.
Whoa, so trust your view. We went to go and find Risikat. With this, we must talk to you. Risikat. Ẹ káàárọ̀ o.
Yes ma, ẹ káàárọ̀ ma.
Ẹ ti di gbajúmọ̀ ìlú mọ̀ọ́ká báyìí sí o. Báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí? Báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí?
Kò sí ìdọ̀nà mà.
Mo ní pé ẹ ti di gbajúmọ̀ báyìí o, ìlú mọ̀ọ́ká gbogbo èèyàn ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yín. Báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí? She can hear me. Risikat, ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa?
Mo ń gbọ́ yín mà.
Mo ní pé ẹ ti di gbajúmọ̀ báyìí o, gbogbo àgbáyé ló ti mọ̀ yín. Ṣé àwọn ìjọba ti bá yín sọ̀rọ̀ ṣọ́ ti kàn sí yín?
Àwọn èèyàn ń pè mí sí.
Má?
Àwọn èèyàn pè mí.
Can't hear her. I'm having trouble hearing her. Àǹtí Risikat, ṣé ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni mà.
Mo ní pé ẹ ti di gbajúmọ̀ báyìí. Àwọn èèyàn ti mọ̀ yín o, gbogbo àgbáyé ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yín o. Mo ní báwo lẹ ṣe rí sí, ṣé àwọn ìjọba ti kàn yín, ṣọ́ ti wá bá yín, ṣọ́ ti wá kí yín?
No.
Wọn ò tí ì wá? Okay o. Báwo dẹ̀ lọmọ yín, a rí nínú fídíò pé ìkan náà ọmọ yín ó rẹ̀ díẹ̀. Báwo lára ẹ̀ báyìí?
Ara ẹ̀ ti yá.
Ara ẹ̀ ti yá. Okay. Mo fẹ́ sọ pé ṣe ní plan láti wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ká ba lè rí because àwọn gan fẹ́ mú yín wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́ báyìí o.
Sharp.
No.
Ẹ fẹ́ wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́? Okay. Àwa bá ṣe máa mọ àwọn èèyàn tó máa wá mú yín wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Now ọkọ yín tó fi yín sílẹ̀ ṣọkọ yín ti wá pè yín báyìí tí gbogbo àgbáyé ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ yín?
Rárá o.
Kò tí ì wá bá yín? Okay o. So nísìnyí ẹ ti wà lójú afẹ́fẹ́ báyìí. Kí lẹ fẹ́ kí àwọn ìjọba ṣe láti ràn yín lọ́wọ́? Àǹtí Risikat. Ní pé okay àti gbúrò yín sìn. A ní pé a ti gbé yín sáfẹ́fẹ́ gbogbo ayé ló ń gbọ́ yín bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Mo ní kí lẹ fẹ́ kí àwọn àgbáyé ṣe sí ọ̀rọ̀ yìí pé àwọn ọmọ ìtẹ́ kó dání o. Ẹ sọ pé ẹ nídìí ìrànlọ́wọ́. Báwo ni ká ṣe ràn yín lọ́wọ́?
Lórí school náà. Bébí wọ́n ti lọ sí school.
Ṣé káwọn ọmọ lọ sí school? Okay. Mo kàn fẹ́ kí náà ni because gbogbo ayé ló ń sọ̀rọ̀ yín àìkàn ní ká gbúrò yín torí ẹ̀ la ṣe pè yín láàárọ̀ ẹ̀. Ṣùgbọ́n a tún máa pè yín pé bá ṣe máa mú yín wá sí Èkó because a fẹ́ fún yín ní makeover. A fẹ́ jẹ́ kí I've actually a photo shoot for you. Yes, you want to tell us?
Yeah, I just wanted her to know that she's beautiful. Her daughters are very beautiful. You have beautiful eyes. My grandmother, her mother, that's my great-grandmother, and her brother all had gray eyes. Beautiful. It hurts me that we didn't get that feature. So I just want you to know that you're so beautiful, and so are your children.
Ṣé gbọ́ nǹkan tí wọ́n sọ fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? Ó sọ pé òun náà ní family tó yẹ pé ojú wọn yàtọ̀ sí ojú tí ojú gbogbo àgbáyé tó ṣe brown. Pé òun náà ní family tó yẹ pé wọ́n ní ojú wọn náà yàtọ̀ pé ẹlẹ́wà gan-an ni o. Pé ẹlẹ́wà gidi gan, pé fine. Pé ẹni tó ń tọ́jú lẹ jẹ́ ẹ̀yin àtọmọ yín, àwọn ẹni tó ń tọ́jú ni.
So I also want you to know that what happened because of the area that you found yourself. So if you were in a more civilized place, people would have understood that is a very unique beauty. And we have a lot of people who pay to have those eyes. So you're very beautiful, and don't ever forget that.
Yes. How do you want me to do that? How do you want me to translate that? Right.
Only because of her area.
Yeah.
Only pé
The circumstances.
Risikat, ṣé ń gbọ́ mi?
Ma?
Ṣé ń gbọ́ mi? Aunty Risikat, ṣé ń gbọ́ mi dáadáa?
Ma, ìbọn
Ọ̀rẹ́ mi sọ pé torí ibi tẹ́ wà, area tẹ́ wà yẹn ló ṣe jọ pé ó jẹ́ nǹkan tí àwọn èèyàn gbọ́n pa pé ìlú mi èèyàn pàtàkì lẹ máa jẹ́ o, pé ẹ má ní jẹ́ anybody ṣe pé ẹ ń ṣe èèyàn pàtàkì o, pé ẹ lẹ́wà gidi, a máa ṣe ìyànjú bá ṣe máa gbé wá sẹ́kọ̀ọ́, bá ṣe máa jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn fún make sure pé àwọn ọmọ yín lọ sí school, a dẹ̀ máa ràn yín lọ́wọ́ kẹ́ bá lè ní joyful life ní agbára Ọlọ́run. Ẹ ṣé gan. On that note, we're going to break.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Okay, so join us on the show. We actually had the blue-eyed woman earlier, so we'll just be discussing it. I know my father-in-law actually had green eyes. You know, he had beautiful, beautiful green eyes. And when he was born, they had to actually relocate him from where he was, you know, because it was very scary. My father-in-law was white. Like if you saw his pictures on my online page, he's practically white. And he had really green, beautiful eyes. So he had to be removed from that entire community, raised elsewhere in safety, because obviously, when they see somebody like that, they don't want to be, this child's normal. I know when we were trying to have our third pregnancy, our fourth child, my husband and I were praying, because that was actually around the time when Daddy had already passed on. Now God asked God, please let our next baby be like Daddy. Let him have Daddy's eyes. We wanted those eyes. We prayed this prayer because we prayed for the twins. God gave us twins.
Yes,
so we talked about same formula. Yeah. We started fasting and praying the matter. God just said, Auntie, please, you'll be all right with brown eyes. But it's such a beautiful gene to have. I mean, and it's unfortunate that that's why her husband left her. He didn't understand. Yeah.
That is ignorance. And you know, sometimes when things happen like this, over time in the society, I realize that people fight what they don't understand. People always stand against what they don't understand. Take this killing of the twins. When women started having more than one, it was like, no, animals are the ones that have more than one. How can a human being? And then they started killing twins because they did not understand it. So when you are in a setting, especially an environment where they are not really enlightened, these are some of the things that we see. Imagine if this lady was in a place like Lagos. Hey! Or maybe Oku. Honestly, when I saw those eyes, I was like, oh my God, are these real? This is beautiful, something you celebrate. There was a picture of a very young girl that had very large eyes. Hers wasn't even gray. That she was like tagged the most beautiful baby in the world. See the way she was celebrated because she was in an environment that people understood that it's okay to be different.
Right.
Everything shouldn't be exactly the way.
To the guy, I mean, yes, you are right, it's ignorance, total. But at the same time, he was also under pressure. Remember, according to what she said, from the story she said, that family was telling him that, and uncle, is this how you just be born in a blue eyes children like this? That's not before you start, you know?
Yeah, but right, that's what's so funny is that you are allowed to marry a blue-eyed girl. So you met her blue-eyed. She did not turn blue-eyed in the middle of your marriage overnight, you know. So, and you loved it and you liked it. And okay, so you've talked about how society can pressure you into doing things. I wanted to say that I don't honestly believe that the man left. I mean, you know how just because of her eyes, maybe, you know, they always look for reasons. But for me, because I have been I'm part of a family where you have unique features that stand out and different from what everybody is accustomed to. So I've talked about my grandparents and my great-grandmother who had it. Also, you see my eyes, they are quite large. And I remember the sort of grief I got for it growing up. They called me froggy eyes, all sorts of eyes. And today, everybody goes, oh my God, you have beautiful eyes, almond-shaped eyes, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, really, the same eyes? You know, and the thing is, we need to learn to celebrate differences. Yes. A different way of beauty should not be seen as a competitive thing or something to be destroyed or abnormal. But we should learn to celebrate all our different shapes and sizes of beauty.
They called me Pinocchio nose, you know.
Your beautiful nose.
They said Pinocchio. They called me. I wouldn't myself with person. She'll be doing like this to me anytime she sees me, you know. Stuff like that. So that's because I was just different from everybody else. My nose was longer than the average at the time.
I was watching the TV yesterday while the show was ongoing, and my daughter was with me, my baby. She will be 5 in September, and she saw you and she was like, is she a white woman? I said, no. Mommy, are you sure she's not a white woman? I said, no. She said, she's beautiful. Mommy, she's so beautiful. Are you sure she's not a white woman? I said, no.
So you have to tell her that beauty is not
black. Exactly. She knows that black is beautiful, but she was just seeing you, and you see those features that people didn't appreciate while you were growing up. A little baby of just, you know, 4 to 5 noticed and loved it.
Yeah. So I'd like to actually connect that with our next story, which is, you know, how would you manage a spouse that changes? I think it's about when you marry somebody and this person was just like the lady is a blue-eyed lady, and then after you now got married, you realize that he can't handle this blue eye issue again, it becomes a problem, or from family pressure. So we're asking the personal question that we would like to hear your views on what will you do if you find out that your spouse is a totally different person from who you thought he or she was before the marriage, which is similar to what we're doing this. But let me take this call from Hassan. Hassan, are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, Hassan. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, special interpreter, special translator.
Hassan, I tried, though. I did well. Please, don't go there.
Good morning, Morayo. Good morning, Mariam. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Obeadulu, you have said it all. You see, what her husband did to her, it was born out of ignorance. Because if you can see that they are all living in the village. And in the village, they have these superstitious beliefs. And people fell for it. It is not their own fault. It is the fault of the influence of their environment. That's number one. You see, number two, we should be very, very careful the way we look at things. We should always look forward to give a helping hand, to encourage people. This kind of disowning children and the wife can easily send somebody to an early grave.
That's true. That's a stop.
But I appreciate you people for giving her that courage, for giving her support. You understand? And secondly, I would like to speak about the governor of Lagos State, this listing of a team. Please tell the governor to listen to us about this curfew. It's serving no purpose in Lagos. Police are just making money with it. Please, let us take about that one. Please.
Thank you very much, Hassan.
Good morning.
They'll hear.
Thank you very much. So this issue of when you get married to somebody and everything changes and they're not who you thought they were. So you married this person who maybe let me flip it. So don't be as if we're talking about the men all the time. So the young lady is somebody that you just thought she's just funny, she's interesting, she's just there taking care of you, doing cooking. And once after you got married, after a while, the cooking stops. You know, she wasn't making up as much as before. You know, you see how having cornrows back in the house with her slippers, and you're just thinking to yourself, is this hot babe I used to date before suddenly has changed? In that kind of situation, how do you handle it? Because we was a tweet we were reading that it was someone saying somebody was confused that this person I married is totally different. Even if we flip it also to the man's side, men also change after marriage because they're looking for something and they put up an appearance. So how do you manage?
You have just answered the question. So the first thing is when you're getting into a relationship, you present your best representative. So I'm coming to visit you in the house. I have to make my hair all the time. I have to make my nails. I have to look good, wear my best dresses to, you know, show my figure and all of that. And then I cook, I clean, I do all of that. But then we come into the house and I can't be trying to impress you. Now it's time to get to know the real me, which is that most times when I take off this wig, what you see under, it's horrible sometimes because I don't have the time to always, I'm not impressing you anymore. This is reality. So I think we should first of all start from, you know, not raising our expectations so high. There's no way a human being can maintain that pedestal that you put them on. It's not possible. So understand that this is a human being. There are things that will change. You know, we'll get into the marriage, we'll have kids, some things are dropping left, right, and center. It's normal. Then because I'm always nice when you scold me and I don't retaliate, I'm just trying. It will get to a point where the pressures of life will not let me. You give me, I give you 7. And you're wondering, she has changed. No, I've not changed. This is me. This is reality.
Let me take Yakub and move on to Mariam. Yakub, are you there?
I'm there, Murayo. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Obi and Miriam.
Good morning.
Murayo, don't mind Mr. Azan. You really try.
Thank you.
You really try. So having said that, Murayo, I totally agree with Obi because I think it is ignorance. Let me give you a typical example here. I didn't mean that the woman and the children happen to be somebody like Alakija of this world. Are you telling me the man will run away? You'll be even close to the Alakija. You'll be close to her so that it will like people to see him with the Alakija. It's because he looked down to the woman. And then he forget something. There's nobody in this world that cannot become anything. And then he ran away today. Who says tomorrow the table cannot be turned? And then he will be looking after these children. In fact, when I saw this picture on the social media, I was amazing that I've never saw this kind of eye. All of them. That tells you that the woman is upright. And then it was never cheated on that man. I didn't mean that the woman is cheating on the man. One of the child may be totally different from others. Look, imagine all of them, including the woman. Blue eyes. I've never saw that in my life. It's a beautiful woman. And then I give you kudos, Morayo, for even call the woman, for even interpret the way you did. You will really try. I can say you.
Yakub, you're a Muslim.
How many wives do you have?
Do you have capacity to marry her? Can we marry her for you?
Are you complete? His wife is watching you.
Hello, I'm there.
How many wives do you have?
I have one.
One. Okay, one. No.
It's fine.
It's fine.
I'm entitled to marry for you.
I know. So do you want? No, I don't want your wife to go and get mad at me. But should we bring her to Lagos for you as number 2 or number 3?
You can bring it. I would like to talk to the woman. Yes.
Okay, not to marry.
I'm joking.
The woman is so beautiful.
Don't let your wife come for me, I beg. Please cut the phone. Thank you, Auntie Uncle. In fact, today's show.
It's fine.
Okay, so back to our topic, Mariam.
Okay, so first of all, there are some changes I feel that can be looked or you can ignore. Right. There are some that are inevitable. We've heard of physical changes especially. We've heard of when men would say, oh, she's had babies and her body has changed, or she, and it happens to the men too. They get older, receding hairline, pot belly. And there used to be a time where it seemed that men were quite insensitive to the reasons why a woman's body would change. Right, yeah. And so women would use their own, back and forth. But I think now there's a consciousness, there's an acceptance of, okay, I see how this is happening, and let's help you. I'll pay for your gym membership, or I pay for your personal training membership. So the changes that you see, first of all, we're talking to people I believe had a form of relationship before they got married. Right. So you knew each other. The foundation of your marriage should be the friendship that you have, the trust that you have. So when the changes now has to do with the foundation of that relationship, trust, the friendship. This is someone who presented herself to be kind and hardworking, and then now she's conniving and ambitious, and that's a serious situation, and it would mean for people to sit down and talk. And I think these are the sort of things that take people to marriage counseling and things like that.
When you marry a man that is very hardworking before,
yes.
and then he comes on and he becomes a couch potato, he doesn't want to go anywhere, he's just comfortable, maybe he loses a job and doesn't have that motivation to move up again. That's always a problem. Let me take this call from MC Clam. Are you there?
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
God bless you, ladies.
Amen. Amen.
You are really making us happy, and may God continue to make you happy.
Amen.
Yeah, the issue of the woman with blue eyes and her children is very wonderful. I really loved it. But if it were to be in a country that will cherish people, she should be celebrated. It's one of the best things that has ever happened to Nigerians. It has never happened before. That's the first time I'm seeing the kind of eyes. Not only her, even her children. It's something amazing. She should be celebrated. Please, kindly do something great about her. Bring her to Lagos. Bring her to your view to come and talk to us. It's wonderful. God bless you all.
Thank you very much. Yes. So, still on the issue of how, so we've identified the problem. Yeah. What do you do? You said, yes, counseling is one thing. Yeah. But are there steps a person can take also to try to understand the situation?
What is happening? So, for me, what I understand is sometimes couples evolve at different levels. So it's only when you pay attention to what's happening that you understand that, this is what she's evolving faster, or I'm evolving faster, or we're evolving in two different directions. So this is where communication comes into play, where you need to sit down and say, this is not what I bargained for. When I was getting into this relationship, I felt you were this person, that person. Is there anywhere I missed it? What is happening? I still have that conversation with my husband on a monthly, 2-monthly basis, where he sits down like, babe, what is happening? You are changing. So when I'm trying to meet you up here, you've moved. I'm trying to catch you here again. What is happening? Till I think last month we had a very deep conversation. It was in the middle of the night. We talked till 3 a.m. Wow. And he kept explaining and explaining and explaining what has been happening. And it didn't even occur to me. I didn't even realize that I had changed that much till he brought it up. And I now, found a way to, retrace my steps. And, this is it, at what, this is when this changed. And I found the problem. It was huge. It was something we celebrate till today because he now brought us very close. He now understood me and I understood where he was coming from. But initially I was, he's beginning to nag. You're beginning to nag too much now. I've always been like, no, you have not been like this. So communication is very important. You need to keep talking.
All right, let's go. We have Elizabeth. Elizabeth, are you there?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm coming from Ajangwadi and I'm a first-time caller.
Woo! Welcome to the show.
Are you there?
We can hear you very clearly. You're live.
Okay, I can actually relate to the lady who has blue eyes, who the husband abandoned.
Okay.
And I think he's just being ignorant and he doesn't know what he has. Yeah. Okay, currently, before I got married to my husband last year, I had issues of keloids, which he knew. Though my exes, when they know I have keloids, they'll call off the engagement and I wouldn't get married. But funny enough, my husband understood my skin issues, and during the time I was pregnant, the keloids just blew out of proportion. I have 2 big ones on my face that if I'm walking on the way, people will be looking at me. So I normally wear wigs to cover my face. Wow. But my husband keeps telling me, take your hair up, don't worry, you are beautiful. When we have money, we are going to fix it, we'll go to baby bombs, That is comforting. It gives me that confidence I need because he knows what it is. So I can actually relate.
Thank you so much for that story, for sharing your.
That story
sent a
actually gives
story.
me goosebumps. Yes, that's a beautiful story.
Yes.
That's a wonderful man that you have. And, you know, in just what we're discussing, really, the basis, the foundation for a relationship, for a marriage should be much more deeper than physical.
And why can send a message very clearly? You're live.
Okay, I can actually relate to the lady who has blue eyes, who the husband abandoned.
Okay.
And I think he's just being ignorant and he doesn't know what he has.
Yeah.
Okay, currently, before I got married to my husband last year, I had issues of keloid, which he knew. Though my exes, when they know I have keloid, they'll call off the engagement and I wouldn't get married. But funny enough, my husband understood my skin issues, and during the time I was pregnant, the keloid just blew out of proportion. I have 2 big ones on my face that if I'm walking on the way, people will be looking at me. So I normally wear wigs to cover my face. Wow. But my husband keeps telling me, take your hair off, don't worry, you are beautiful. When we have money, we're going to fix it, we'll go to AB Bomb. You know, that is comforting. It gives me that confidence I need because he knows what it is. So I can actually relate.
Thank you so much for that story, for sharing your.
That story
sent a
actually gives me goosebumps.
Yes,
that's a beautiful story.
Yes.
That's a wonderful man that you have. And, you know, in just what we're discussing, really, the basis, the foundation for a relationship, for a marriage should be much more deeper than physical.
And why can send a message? Somebody sent her a message saying that a sister's friend, they know about somebody who, they were in Lasso together, the man was blind. And he's blind because when he was a baby, doctors plucked out his eyes because they were blue.
What?
At the request of his parents.
What? Because
that same thing as ignorance you're talking about. They had no idea, and they got his eyes plucked out simply because they were blue eyes.
Okay, if he was ignorant, the doctor, was he ignorant?
So it's like, that's how, so he's blind. So that's the ignorance we're talking about. Understanding that and appreciating difference. Wow. When something is different, because according to Risikat, she can see. She's never had eye issues. Someone was saying, oh, maybe she has cataract. No, she doesn't. She's perfectly okay. There's nothing wrong with her.
You know, Mariah, I called my mom just to confirm my grandparents' story and everything. And she was like, see, they died in their ripe old age, in their 80s, and they never used glasses. Right. So maybe there's even something quite genetically superior about colored eyes we should be looking at.
The point is, that's why I think one of the, I mean, aside from we're talking about other, that, like, understand people for who they are, but just that it's important we reinforce and re-emphasize the fact how important it is that when you notice something different, it's not the time for you to condemn. Understand first.
It, yes.
Because according to Risikat, they went to the doctors, they got her checked several times, and her eyes kept getting checked, and she was fine. So if she's fine, let the children live. So, I mean, this is a really, really painful story. And interestingly, the person was in Lasso. So it's not. So they're adults. So obviously, it's a story that he was talking about.
So, but this person will get married and give birth probably to kids. I hope this person understands that it's okay to have. Well,
okay, I have a call from Abuja. Okuta, are you there? Thanks for calling. Okuta, are you there? Thanks for calling. You're live. Listen to the TV. Hello, are you there?
Okay.
Okay, I think we lost that. Yeah. Let's take a few tweets. So, well, yeah.
Okay, yes. So we're just talking about like what is more important in a relationship. For me, the only time that it becomes a critical situation is when what is most important for forming a relationship has changed. And that is the only time where we have people maybe come in and talk to you. And you know, BC, you mentioned that the conversation is very important. And I find out, you know, recently I had a little issue with someone, and when we sat down to talk, she expressed herself, and I'm like, we take so much for granted, you know, we take this lack of communication for granted. We assume a lot of things about people, but when you sit down, sometimes you find it's just a little thing that if you had explained better earlier, would have been well sorted. So when you have a situation where someone seems to be changing on you, I think you should have the conversation. I've had people who would say, well, he was misbehaving and had to protect myself. So you now have a shield, an armor around you, and you now become this very stern-looking person because you're afraid of getting hurt anymore.
Want to protect yourself.
And when you have the conversation, when that attitude that caused this person to have changed has stopped, you are able to go back to.
Let me take this call from Gwenga Daniel. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Okay, Muriah, once again, I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I'm so elated talking to you guys this morning. You really tried on your interpretation. You really tried.
Yes, thank you.
Then, like this is said, this is purely ignorance. That's ignorance. And the environment she finds herself in, what was rejected over there is being accepted here in Lagos and well-enlightened cities. That's what I just want to say. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those, I mean, we really like to tell the community, those that are close to her, they need to show some love. Yeah. Obviously, from the way she speaks, it's always as if she's still in serious need. And people need to encourage the children especially to go to school because those kind of people should not be left out without any kind of support. So it's important that we...
I also wanted to highlight the ladies that brought this to...
Yes, we've got the name Khadija and Kafayat.
Yes.
And I think Khadija, the two young ladies, they went to, during Salah break, and they saw the stories, and they thought the kids were so beautiful, and they wrote a story on their, I think, the Twitter or blog, and Punch picked it up. And Punch, thank you, Punch, for this. It's an amazing story. And we like this kind of stories because it's an opportunity, it's a learning opportunity for us to let Nigerians know that because something is different, because you don't understand something, doesn't mean you should condemn it. It's important that we also, whatever we don't understand, ask. There's information out there. Ask, and I think on that note we can end the show. Let's take a few tweets before we run off. Any
the tweets were basically yabbing your Yoruba.
Oh, please. There's Preslima online store says our ladies are wearing contact lens to get blue eyes, and her case is natural. Wow, how I wish my unborn kids will have blue eyes. Tommy says, if I have such eyes, una go hear word at all. I mean, una no go hear word at all. Yes, this woman really needs to be celebrated. Then Ashipa James says, it is sad that ignorance may make her husband be a loser. Her story is similar to the bread seller who recently came to limelight. I think you remember her.
Yes. Oluwafemi says, the last time I saw a Nigerian with such eyes is the legendary Nollywood actress Regina Askia. Having blue eyes is actually very beautiful. The man is just ignorant.
Okay, so I got some great news. The PA to the First Lady of Kwara State just contacted us now. And she said that the First Lady is very interested in Risikat's story. And that they'll be linking up with the family and hopefully providing support.
Thank you! Thank you. I'm so happy for Risikat.
The First Lady of Kwara State is interested in the story. God bless you. We keep following up with the story.
Yeah,
hopefully.
And then our magazines. Please, let's do some magazine covers for her.
Yeah, get a makeover.
T.Y. Bello.
TW. Jenny,
give us a nice wig and just put it on. Trust me, girlfriend.
The husband will come back in 2 days.
Oh, that's all we can take. Have a fabulous weekend. See you Monday. Bye.